Welcome to this new how-to. In this how-to we're going to look at how we can use onlineflightplanner.org to schedule a flight for Flight Simulator 2020. When you go to the site you will end up at this landing page, and the landing page will have a few parts. The left part is the last flight you scheduled using onlineflightplanner.org, and the right side contains the last 10 flight plans created by other people using flightplanner.org. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that both the .pln and the .pdf are selected. Although the PLN is only required, the PDF is optional, but sometimes it can be very useful if you want to use it for, I would say, for reference. Now there are two approaches. Either you can start filling in the fields here, or you can search for an airport using the Choose an Airport section. And we're going to do the second option. So we're going to select Choose an Airport, and based on that we can select departure or destination, and we can select the types of airports which we want to see. In this case I want to see only the large and medium airports, and I want to know all the airports in the Netherlands. So I select the Netherlands. Then it shows me all the airports which are located in the Netherlands, and one of them is Amsterdam Airport Schiphol, which is the one I want to use as my departing airport. Once you selected the departing airport, you can search for the destination. In this case I want to fly to the United States, so I select United States, and as you can see this list is pretty long because as you probably know, the United States is a big country, right? So let's hover a bit down, or zoom a bit down, and the one I'm searching is Seattle, so you can hit Control and the F key and then perform the search yourself, and here you will see Seattle Tacoma International Airport. It shows the type of airport and also the distance from our departing airport to our destination airport. So we select Seattle Tacoma, and then we can scroll up to the top again, and then we can select route. And what you see it has done, it has pre-populated now the departure and the destination airport. No country codes are filled in. It's not necessary to fill them in, but in some case you want to fill them in just for completeness. Keep in mind that if you start from scratch, you can, and you know the ICAO code, you can simply type it in here, and it will also show you a preview of the airport which you selected. The next step is selecting the AIRAC cycle. AIRAC stands for Aeronautical Information Regulation and Control, which is a system which contains all the waypoints, airports, navigation beacons, etc. So it's a complete system, and in this case we're using the version 12.02. If I would select the drop-down menu, you will see that there are much more versions. So versions are updated on a regular basis because sometimes airspace are changing, more beacons are being added. So for now I will leave it as this one. The next piece you need to configure is the altitude range, so the minimum and the maximum altitude. In this case the flight level 360 is already selected as both the minimum and maximum, so that's fine for me. The level allows me to select both low altitude and high altitude ranges. I've selected both, which is the default setting, and then you can select the aircraft, and the aircraft, as you can see, is a pretty long list containing both airliners but also the smaller airplanes. In this case I can select the Airbus A320. Fuel unit, you can either show it in LBS or in KGS, and then you've got the options here to select the different types of information you want to see in your flight plan. So the first one is use SIDs, and SIDs stands for Standard Instrument Departure. which are also known as the departure procedures. Those are used at certain airports to simplify the clearance delivery procedures, right? So they're predefining a route which you need to follow when you're departing from a certain runway. The next option is use STARS, and STARS stand for Standard Terminal Arrival Route. So it's the opposite side of the SIDs. So it's a flight procedure which can be followed before reaching a destination airport. It contains mostly intersections and VOR beacons, so it simply is also a predefined route which will bring you to the airport or to the specific runway. Then we've got AirNav equipped. AirNav is for area navigation, and that's a technology that allows you to fly straight from point A to B with no limitations from line of sight signals like ground-based navigation systems pose. The next option is the TACAN routes, which stands for Tactical Air Navigation System, and was developed for military purposes in 1960. For private and commercial airplanes, only the DME, which stands for Distance Measuring Equipment, can be used for the TACAN beacons. So you can't use the TACAN beacons for other purposes. And the last one, NATs, North Atlantic Airspaces, which is simply the airspace between Europe to North America. And in those in that airspace, I should say, specific rules are applicable. For example, the altitude is predefined, so the rules are very specific in that region. So we leave all the options selected, and then the next thing what we need to do is we can click on Create Plan. In this case, it will bring us automatically to the Info tab, and it will show us the departing airport and the destination airport, and then all the beacons which we're gonna visit during our travel from Amsterdam to Seattle. You can see for some of them there's a frequency, so you can use that for your navigation radio to put it in or to push it in. So you can use both the GPS and the navigation channels. And you can see it's a pretty long list. If you want to exclude a specific waypoint, you can simply select it, which will make it, I would say, grayed out, and then it will not be part of the plan anymore. When we hover down, we will see a summary. So it says it contains 68 fixes, and this is the distance, and these are the airways which we're going to use. So we're going to use Echo Hotel Alpha Mike, which is an SID. Then we're going to go to Alpha November Delta India Kilo, then Uniform November 873, and as follows, right? So this is the beacon. This, if I'm correct, is the route to the next waypoint, and it will continue until we're almost at Seattle, and that will follow the star route. Scrolling a little bit further down, you will see the Meteor Information, which is the Meteor Information. And one of the things it puts out is this string, and it will do that per airport. So it will do it for departure and a destination. So it might look a little bit cryptic initially. So what you can do is you can copy this line and then go to wx-now.com/weather/meteor decode and paste the code in here. When you select the parse button, normally it does convert it. In this case, it also did it. Just tried it again. So it shows us the name of the airport, in this case Airport Schiphol, Amsterdam, Netherlands, and then the latest forecast from Weather Underground. So observation time is the time it's being observed, then the local time, which it currently is in the departing airport, so 6 minutes after 9. Then it shows us the wind direction, in this case northeast, 40 degrees, wind variables from 360 to 70, which means variable wind, and the wind speed, the visibility, and the sky conditions. So if there's any clouds, and if there are any clouds, what type of clouds, in this case broken clouds at 1700 feet. The temperature and the dew point, and the altimeter, which you probably know when you're using Flight Simulator. And then there's some other information about the relative humidity, the wind chill, and the density, altitude, and any specific remarks, right? So there are no specific remarks in the next 2 hours. And you can do the same thing for Seattle, right? So I can simply copy this line, go to the Meteor decoder again, and hit parse. Seattle Tacoma International, and here I can see the destination weather, right? So keep in mind that using the A320 Annex custom add-on, right, which the customer, or the, I would say, custom-made A320 add-on for Flight Simulator 2020 also has the option to request the Meteor information. You can do that while you're almost there. You can ask for the latest weather update. We will probably discuss that in a future episode. So what's the other information being displayed? Well, in this case, the fuel quantity for the Airbus. So the fuel usage is being displayed here, and the reserve fuel. This value, and adding this value will bring you approximately to this value. So this is the fuel which needs to be on board of the airplane. On the bottom, there's a map being drawn. However, in this case, the map is drawn a little bit weird. Still trying to figure out, because it flies from Amsterdam via Finland, then via Russia, and then from Russia it has drawn a line not to the East Siberian Sea, but it will go straight to the US, and then it will follow the East Siberian Sea, and then follow the north part of America, and then travels down to Seattle. From experience, I don't think this is the route that the airplane will take. In these scenarios, we'll probably fly via the UK, and then via Greenland, and then continue traveling the US, and then flying to Seattle. But this is also, I would say, a valid option. Only the way it's being displayed here is a bit weird, because you would expect that the line would continue to right, because here's also the part of Russia, right? So you're flying from here, then continue here, and go down the road to Seattle. So if you're satisfied about the about the plan, then you can click on Go to Files, and the Go to Files will create two files. One is the .pln file, which you can load in Flight Simulator, right? You can do it in the Flight Planner, and the other one is the PDF file, and let me open it. And it will display a lot of additional information, such as the complete route with all the distances from beacon to beacon, and the rest is all the information which we just discussed, I would say, doing or discovery of onlineflightplanner.org. On the latest page, you can see the fuel planner, so you can see the fuel planner, so the number of fuel which you need to load your airplane with to successfully fly from Amsterdam to Seattle. And that's based on fuelplanner.com from Garen Evans. So here's where this video ends. So in this video we looked at onlineflightplanner.org, how we can schedule a flight from Amsterdam to Seattle. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then consider to press the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then use the comments box below the video. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, then consider to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.